Hey, buddy. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
But on behalf of all of us who love the game and the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it is my great privilege to welcome you to Canton, Ohio, and to promise you that we'll keep your legacy to the game alive in Canton forever. Okay?
Sounds like a deal.
Okay, buddy.
You got me. You got me.
Hey, you blink, I'll cut your eyelids off. Don't you blink.
I got you.
Let's go.
And happy Super Sunday, everybody, here on this championship drive here of the Man of Steel podcast. With, of course, here's truly Charles, Prodigy, Richey right now. We are just a little over 30 minutes away from Super Bowl 55 happening in Tampa Bay at Raymond James Stadium. For today's contest, should be a pretty darn good one. Needless to say the least here, as we got going on right now. And Tampa Bay Buccaneers looking to become the first team right now to not only host, but also to finish winning the Super Bowl at home versus the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Got a lot of chance to make some history being made right here. See if they can pull it off here tonight. Or will the Chiefs be able to finally be the first team since the New England Patriots team to repeat as champions? We will find out in just a couple of hours tonight, probably closer to 10 Eastern time tonight, and Central time, 9 o'clock over here. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Sunday. And just raise your hands right now. How many of you people had your doubt right now about this season not possibly getting in the books? I mean, since last March, when the league was consistently focused and hell-bent on getting this season in the books. Let's be honest, because I'm not going to lie to you. This was definitely through a COVID year, a pandemic, everything that we've seen. There's been a lot of heavy skepticism about with COVID right there. Trying to see any return of sports in general. Were we going to see anything? Got a huge break right here. NFL's insisted they're going to find a way to keep marching on, which they have done. And so far, this season right now is about ready to be for a wrap. 101st season of the NFL right now, and just got a lot potentially riding here. We're going to kick off the show with the announcement of the 2021 Hall of Fame class. As the Steelers this summer will be having 5 inductees combined from last year's class, which included head coach Bill Cowher, safeties Johnny Shell and Troy Polamalu, and of course this year the latest additions. Need I say more? With the late great writer for the Pittsburgh Courier, who did a lot to help out help black athletes from colleges to universities get some talent in the NFL, not just for the Steelers, but across the board, has become the first African-American contributor in the Hall of Fame wing. Talking about none other than Bill Nunn right here, who has been deceased for a while now. He finally gets his moment of shine. Just heard his granddaughter yesterday interviewing with Missy Matthews, what it's finally like to have that happening for her and the family of Bill Nunn, who has been long respected, who has contributed 6 Super Bowls to the Steelers, all their championships right here. And you look at the Steelers right now as an organization. I mean, when you look at a guy as far as like Bob Labriola, and I first heard about this guy back in 2018, he was the first one to mention him when they were talking about like their Hall of Honor inductions. And that was about it right there. And you see how much he has meant to this game, who has waited an awfully long time right now. I mean, when you truly consider what this guy has meant, I mean, definitely had a great sense of humor here. According to his daughter, she said he loved to play jokes and stuff. But at the end of the day, too, a guy who passed away in 2016 and has been long since moved on from the Steelers. I mean, ever since then, when you look at, I think after 2014, and he was just a great asset for this team. When you think about everything that he's been able to do for the game of football and sports in general, and you see a lot today historically black colleges and university right now he has been a champion for. His last year with the Steelers was as a senior scout back in 2014. Started out part-time at the time when Chuck Noll was hired, and really just an incredible story. Couldn't happen to a greater guy here. I mean, you look at everything that has been announced to do right now. And by the way, for the Hall of Fame class this year, I want to say shout out and congratulations to this year's new class right now. And the other contributor who's also going to be part of the Hall of Fame wing in 2021, the legendary Hall of Fame head coach for the Raiders and went on briefly for the Seattle Seahawks, but most notably for the Raiders. And I felt like it was great timing when they did the Al Davis documentary on ESPN Plus with him and Pete Rozelle, and how all the years what Al Davis has put the NFL through, but also trying to get a stadium for the Raiders. And you saw how a lot of teams who eventually started to move later on look for new stadiums. Al Davis had a big hand in that, but you look at one of his guys that he had too from John Madden's coaching staff, Tom Flores. I believe he was the first Hispanic head coach in the NFL right there. Had a marvelous career, two-time Super Bowl champion with the Raiders, and he had a career win-loss percentage of 538, 105 victories and 90 losses. I think having him being part of that documentary as well, especially when they won their last two Super Bowls, I think the timing could have been better, and I think it made a lot more sense. I was anticipating to see a guy like Flores finally get the nod. I really do believe this guy right here, who's definitely waited quite some time here for everything that he's been able to do, and just big congratulations to him, because obviously he's definitely one of the awesomest guys right here. And he and Mike Dick are the only two people in the history of the National Football League to win a Super Bowl as a player, assistant, and head coach. I mean, just very impressive guy right here. When you look at it here, who started off back as a player back, let's see, in 1960, and then went to transition with his coaching career. So, I mean, you look at this guy right here, what he's meant, and just incredible, genuine human being right here. And having about like 35 years of experience right here in his NFL career, just awesome. Just couldn't be any happier for Tom Flores right here. Then you also had the other guys. I mean, no doubt about slam dunk quarterback, Hall of Famer right now, no doubt. Peyton Manning, two-time Super Bowl champion, the first quarterback to win a Super Bowl with two different teams, which happened 5 years ago. By the way, it happened like around this time. So, I mean, congratulations to him right now. I mean, doing it with the Colts and the Broncos, primarily for the Colts. And of course, we already got Alan Faneca, as you may know, who's spent his first 10 seasons in Pittsburgh, 9-time Pro Bowler, 6-time All-Pro, all-decade team. There's only been like there's only been one player off this list who hasn't been part of an all-decade team, but it made sense for him to get in. I predicted Riley Barber, but I was also looking for a guy like John Lynch too, but at least one of them got in. John Lynch finally, since it's going to be in Tampa, the Super Bowl, couldn't have been happening to a greater safety like him. When you think about that Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, I mean, they're great playoff runs before they really started turning into winners under Tony Dungy. I mean, having guys like a Warren Sapp, a Derek Brooks, a Simeon Rice. I mean, I would anticipate Rondé Barber at some point getting in. He did not get the nod this year, but again, John Lynch couldn't happen to a greater guy right here, who has one ring, 9 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros right there. A lot of times when these guys are getting the Hall of Fame, the bigger number is the All-Pro numbers, more so than the Pro Bowls. Now, one guy who I kind of did agree with to get in on his first try, I'm not saying he wasn't a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer, no doubt, but I'm not sure if he deserved to get in on his first try. And I'm talking about none other than Megatron Kelvin Johnson right here. I mean, who just finally gets his nod. I mean, you look at everything, what he's been doing, I mean, with the Lions right here. I mean, I truly believe after he started to slow down, that's when you saw the involvement of Antonio Brown, I think, who grabbed the torch from this guy. But, I mean, this guy who has played 9 seasons in the NFL right here, he's amassed for over 11,619 receiving yards for his career. I mean, which ranks 32nd. He ranks 47th in receptions, and he has a clutch percentage of 55.7, so about 56%. Hey, he amassed for 11,786 yards of scrimmage right here in his career. And I mean, about a 6 Pro Bowler, 3-time All Pro, and he was also part of an all-decade team. And then also congratulations to, speaking of receivers, Drew Pearson from the 70s Cowboys, who won one back in 1977. I mean, a lot of people definitely remember a lot more of the offense, but when you think about everything that they've been able to do, those great Dallas Cowboys teams back in the 70s under Tom Landry right there, I mean, who's definitely, I mean, you think about more so the doomsday defense and everything that they've been able to be a part of. I mean, the Cowboys right there. I mean, one of my favorite rivalries. You see my jersey right here. I mean, Steelers and Cowboys. I mean, that will always be close to my heart. I mean, as a Steeler fan, and watching them. And then you also look at the running game they had on there too. They also had Tony Dorsett right here. I mean, then that was the only Super Bowl II, Super Bowl 12, where he had Randy White and Martin were able to win co-MVPs in that game. So I thought that was very special right there. I mean, in that Super Bowl, that was the only time we saw it by the Cowboys. So Harvey Martin and Randy White, and that's where we stand right here. And then the rest of the people on this list who got in this year, speaking after the receivers and the safety I just mentioned, as well as the guard, Alan Faneca. You also got right now, who I had no doubt getting on his first ballot, was Charles Woodson, corner and safety, more so for the Raiders and then the Packers. He gets in his first try, well deserved right here. I thought he was a pretty darn classic in his own right. I mean, when you look at Charles Woodson, everything that he's been able to do too, as far as how he's covered on defense right here, who he's had 11 touchdowns return for scores off of interceptions. That's ranks third all time right there. I mean, and then he's also got 2 fumble returns for touchdowns. He has a total career takeaway total of 83 takeaways. I mean, this guy was just a phenomenal beast right here in itself, who's been a part of 2 Super Bowls, losing the first one to the Buccaneers back in 2002, which was Super Bowl 37, and then finally getting his first one with the Packers. But remember, I think he injured his shoulder at halftime of that game, which was the Steelers' last Super Bowl appearance, was not able to finish the game, but he was able to motivate his team, and they were able to win that Super Bowl. So there you have it right there. And then also one more guy on this list, if I haven't gotten to already. Yeah, so that was about it. So congratulations once again. And then Bill, like I said, Bill for the Steelers, Bill Nunn, Alan Faneca, the Colts, Peyton Manning, of course, the Cowboys, Drew Pearson, finally, congratulations to him, waiting a hell of a long time right now, who's actually been waiting 37 years since retirement. So congratulations. He finally gets a nod in Canton, along with Kelvin Johnson, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Then you also got Charles Woodson of the Raiders. Then, of course, with the Packers, Tom Flores of the Raiders, and then John Lynch of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Congratulations, gentlemen. A great way to start off the festivities right here. And this class for 2021, they'll be inducted between August 5th and August 9th in Canton with the 2020 Centennial class that also includes former Steelers safeties Troy Polamalu and Donnie Shell with head coach Bill Cowher, according to Dale Lolley right here. I mean, back to Bill Nunn, too. I mean, like I said, he did so many for minority players, historically black colleges, and universities' success in the NFL. And he has daughter right here said this would have meant everything to him, according to her. A former U.S. attorney said Sunday, day after the world was informed her father will be entering the Pro Football Hall of Fame this summer as a contributor to this game. It always was instilled in us looking for diversity, appreciating diversity, and change things for the better. And to be the first African-American contributor in the Hall of Fame, it's just a wonderful honor, no doubt about it. That's Alan Faneca right here. He was surprised right there. This actually happened a couple of weeks ago where he got the knock that you just heard before this podcast started by David Baker right here, who actually came to his home in Virginia. I mean, his wife already knew about it, and a film crew knocked on their front door to inform her husband of his Hall of Fame status. He didn't know. But you look at some of the disabilities he had to overcome, too, that Stan Stanford pointed out to me about a month ago going into the Browns playoff matchup, which Steelers were getting ready to do off. But still, this guy had a tremendous a career right here, very gifted, and just so glad to see him finally get his shine right now. And he was saying being surprised was definitely better than waiting in the hotel room for sure. As he said Sunday morning, about 12 hours after it was announced to the world that he would be a member of the 2021 Hall of Fame class. So right now, too, also according to Mark Bally, sticking with Steelers news right now, the Steelers are hiring former Falcons O-line coach Chris Morgan as assistant O-line coach to Giants. According to the Giants athletic beat reporter Dan Dugan right now. He can be followed on Twitter at DDugan21. That's at DDUGGAN21. And Morgan was in interview with the Giants as well. He has 12 years experience, 6 as an assistant offensive line coach and 6 as an offensive line coach. So let's go ahead and get right to the chase right now. I know it's a lot fresh on a lot of Steelers fans' minds right now. T.J. Watt right now. I mean, the guy who actually finished the NFL this year, when you look at everything right now, I mean, he finished top in sacks this season. I mean, with everything going on, he was ranked first in that category with 15. You had Aaron Donald, who had 13 and a half. He also finished out on top with quarterback hits, 41. You had Aaron Donald, who had 26 tackles for loss. T.J. Watt was also ranked first in, with 103. But I got to tell you right now, I don't think T.J. Watt was robbed of Defensive Player of the Year. I really don't believe so. I really do believe, too, at the end of the day, when we truly look at it, I mean, the biggest thing, too, I think the concern was, once Bud Dupree's injury happened right there, don't get me wrong, T.J. Watt was still producing at an extreme level down the stretch. I mean, it's not like his play was slowing down. That's not what we're saying. I mean, this guy, down that stretch, without Bud Dupree, he was still able to amass 4 sacks right there, 8 quarterback hits, 6 tackles for loss. The biggest problem was that they went 1-3 down that stretch. Granted, it was argued a lot, though, too, that the Steelers' offense was becoming extremely predictable. But at the end of the day, too, I really do believe Aaron Donald, he's one of those elite athletes, I mean, we're looking at right now. I mean, this guy may not be a Super Bowl champion just yet, but still, he joins elite company right now as being one of the rare guys in this league to win 3 Defense Player of the Year awards, joining Lawrence Taylor and, of course, T.J. Watt's older brother, J.J. Now, I mean, T.J. Watt definitely frustration was airing some, disappointment and frustration. He was definitely incredibly pissed off. He did what Jordan meme, and I took that personally. Listen, I get it right now, but at the same time, too, listen, T.J. Watt, he's got every reason to be frustrated. He did get the Deacon Jones Award recognized for the person with the most sacks in the season, which he got for being the sack champion at 15. But I got to tell you something, no offense, and I love T.J. Watt, but let this be a lesson to anybody who's watching this. As frustrated as he is, don't be salty. I'm sorry. No, I disagree with that. Again, you got your brother, you got your teammates, everybody's sticking up for you. I'm not attacking you for that, but it always goes to show you still got to learn how to win and lose with grace, no matter what. And I know it's going to be a lot more harder. He's going to be playing a lot more harder. And when you got a sport like football, too, I mean, the more he's going to demand of himself, now you're putting more extra pressure. If he's going to be able to stay healthy, being at the pace he's doing right now. Listen, I mean, T.J. Watt, I mean, he should definitely be one of the top priorities getting signed, which I think they will. But at the same time, too, I mean, let's be honest. TJ Watt has not really carried this team to the finish line just yet. I think, if anything, I think last year, 2019, I think that would have been the season where he should have won Defensive Player of the Year. If the last person who won Defensive Player of the Year and did not take his team to the playoffs was back in 2014, which is where, by the way, J.J. Watt was able to win it that year. So, if anything, I do feel like right now, I mean, it's tough. I mean, but at the same time, too, when I heard the Pro Football Writers of America back about 2-3 weeks ago vote for this award, which was on the week of Martin Luther King week, by the way, since they've been voting on this award since 1992. Now, remember, they're not the official vote, but 24 guys who have been voted by them usually ended up winning Defensive Player of the Year award right there. Now, the Texans, they did not make the playoffs back in 2014. Like I said, that is the last non-playoff team not get it. He was able to win one more after that, his final one back in 2015. And you see everything that has been going on right now. So congratulations there, and Donald. TJ, keep at it, my man. You're still a true grinder here. I do not feel like he was ripped off by any means. If anything, I think this is just going to remotivate him, redouble his drive, fuel him up more. Because at the end of the day, too, I think a lot of people definitely would argue, I mean, what's more important? I mean, this or a ring? And I think he will get there. But for right now, just stay focused on the little things. Do not get caught up in that. And like I said, you have a lot of people who are always going to give your big brother support to this team watching. I just did not think, I don't think that was a good look, how he reacted. I have a problem with that, to be honest with you. Just keep at it. Stay focused. Keep your eyes on the prize. And you're going to find yourself, you're getting your due eventually at some point. Just right now, this is a competition. This is an elite competition he's going in there. He's going in with a lot of heavy hitters. So, also, too, right now, I want to make a quick comment, too. Mike Sullivan right now, too, who's going to be one of the Steelers' new offensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers when we look at it right now. Basically, going into this right now, Mike Sullivan, he's going to be their new quarterback coach. Now, Mike Sullivan, I was doing research on this guy on Friday night here, and he's been able to work with the Giants. I mean, for, let's see, it was like 11 seasons, and he's been a part of one season where he's been Super Bowl champion as a quarterback coach. But prior to that, he was a receivers coach with the Giants. He also went on to become offensive coordinator for back-to-back seasons with the Buccaneers in 2012, 2013. And his last season was in the NFL was 2018. Now, here's the thing. I think Sullivan, he's okay. I mean, he's been working with the likes of, like I said, Eli Manning. I mean, everyone else. I mean, the Broncos quarterback questions right there. I mean, still, I mean, I don't think I'm necessarily too sold on him. But, I mean, assuming Ben Roethlisberger is back right now, he's been only like a top 10 as far as points scored only 3 times. Turnovers, 2 times where he's given up a lot. And then, like, passing yards, too. I mean, 4 times where he's been ranked in the top 10. So I'm not going to lie to you. This can be like an average hire. We'll see how this goes, because right now I'm not so sure if I'm still sold. I think like on Ike Hilliard still being on with their receiving coach. So we got some stuff right there. A lot of issues with drops. Let's go ahead and get some NFL news right now. Speaking of which, according to Mike Garafolo, so like I said, right now, according to Ian Rapoport, Chiefs owner Clark Hunt told reporters that the final number of the salary cap may not be set until hours before start of the new league year, which will be on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. Now, March 15th to the 17th, players could start negotiating for like free agent contracts and stuff right around that timeline right there. They could start negotiating, but the period, I think, starts on the start of the new league year. So there's a chance that a lot of owners around the league seem very optimistic that the cap will land closer to $185 million and up a little bit more. I mean, it's possible we could probably see like a soft cap, maybe. I'm not sure about that. But I mean, right now, remember the current situation, you got about $34 million in cap debt, more with Ben Roethlisberger's contract with $41.25 million. I think if anything, they'll shrink that down another $10 million. If you're able to read the and then just find a way to work that out, you could probably be looking at somewhere maybe like around a little $5 million in cap that they would still have to owe, but that wouldn't be that bad. If anything, like I said, this whole offseason right now, it's been very key. I mean, to see what that cap number is going to be. I don't feel like it's like the last ride yet. I mean, it is coming up. Don't get me wrong. But I do like to feel that you at least still have yourself into a better position as far as like wanting to keep up, I mean, with your competition right there. I just don't feel like the Steelers are necessarily done just yet, but they're going to be having a lot more of a competitive division. I mean, which a lot of people are anticipating to be around like third place. I'm not sure about that, but I mean, the Browns definitely feel like they're going to be a long time be around, definitely causing a lot of problems. I mean, for the division, including some teams at some point. I mean, they're trying to get some championship aspirations down the road here. So let's just keep that on Taz right now. I know we got the Super Bowl coming up right now in just a moment. Also, too, one interesting thing I heard, Russell Wilson, he's been one of the latest quarterback carousels, according to Ian Rapoport. There's been some teams who have been calling the Seattle Seahawks trying to inquire a trade about Russell Wilson. Now, for right now, he remains one of the untouchable players, but who knows? Who's to say that could change? I think that's very well possible right now. When you look at a guy like Russell Wilson, everything that he's meant, I mean, for his Seahawks career, I would not be surprised because one of the key things in this, too, I mean, as much as he's got a great relationship with, Pete Carroll and his team right now, here's the thing right now. After this season, if he's going to be having about $50 million remaining on his contract, $19 million in 2022 and $21 million in 2023 base salary. And then you couple the fact, too, he's got roster bonuses. I'm not sure what exactly the key dates are on those, but it's $5 million each year. So he's got about $50 million remaining right there after this season. Now, if he is somehow would get traded out of some crazy fashion, congratulations by Wayne Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Just saying the world just needs a lot of love. I thought that was a beautiful speech, very well deserved. But if they were to trade him, the Seahawks would be charged with $39 million cap charge for this season if they were able to do it prior to June 1st. That's according to Pro Football Talk right there and over the cap. Because right now there's a chance that after a year with Shane Waldron running the offense for the Seahawks, while Coach Pete Carroll potentially steers it toward the run-based attack, Wilson may get a little bit more antsy about where things are heading for his career as he inches towards 35 with only one Super Bowl. He's 32 right now. So right now, one of the things, too, Sims has heard and confirmed that the Seahawks toyed with the idea of trading Wilson to the Browns for a first overall pick back in 2018 with a plan to draft Josh Allen. So there has been some thoughts tossed around. So let's keep an eye on this thing in the next year or two. I mean, at some point, who's to say they may not go a younger quarterback? Now let's get into the Super Bowl right now. As announced by Ian Rapoport right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers practice includes quarterbacks Drew Stanton and Ryan Griffin, running back Keyshawn Vaughn, wide receiver Justin Watson, tight end Anthony Clare, defensive ends Jeremiah Ledbetter and Khalil Davis. Now, as for the Chiefs, Le'Veon Bell is officially active from his knee injury that he suffered in the last couple of weeks, as well as wide receiver Antonio Brown from the Bucs and tight end Cameron Brate from the Bucs back are active. So we'll see both former Killer Bees, like it or not, in the Super Bowl. But congratulations to whoever wins this. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game. And here's my keys to the game real quick. I know the game's getting ready to kick off right now. Let's go with the first thing, winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. Bucs have 48 sacks, are ranked second in the league versus Chiefs O-line, who has allowed 24 sacks surrender, which is 24th in the league. So they give it up. I mean, they're like a real bottom of the pack. They're the ninth best protected offensive line. But I really do believe right now, when you look at it too, I mean, what the Buccaneers really be able to do when you look at Jason Pierre-Paul, everyone too, and Shaquille Barrett, I think Devin White could also be a factor in this game too. I mean, right now, I mean, who's been truly one of the elite linebackers so far? I guess could say so far versus Devin Bush. He's been doing great right now. I mean, this guy has 9 sacks this year, career high in 140 tackles, and we'll see what he's able to do. And he's a pretty good ball hawk, if you ask me. He had 5 takeaways his first year, 1 this year. The second key for this game, for the Bucs, they'll need to do quarterback spy and Patrick Mahomes and keep him in the pocket, as their 21st in pass defense for the Bucs, allowing 3,945 yards for the air, yet they're 7th with 15 picks and 5th in total takeaways with 25. So that's going to be my keys to the game for today. Everybody enjoy the Super Bowl. And once again, you guys follow me on social media, on Twitter and Instagram, at Prodigy Richey for the Men of Steel Podcast, on Twitter, at Men of Steel CJR, and on Instagram, at Men of Steel Nation. As I leave you, don't be trolling, be rolling. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. I gone.